Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the zoo. The minions with me this evening are Kefki,
Yeah, well,
Tyr,
What up?
Adam,
Hello.
Jen,
Hello.
and traveling exhibit, Critical.
I have Tyr's skull again.
Uh,
As it is once again a Friday, but not the first Friday of the month, I am the keeper for this evening, Sanguine. How are all of you doing tonight?
I'm good. I just got finished jury duty today.
Ooh,
oh,
Ah.
oh no.
congrats for making it through.
Well, I lucked out because technically it was, as always, it's a criminal case, and I'm technically law enforcement. So is there any way that you could, are you more inclined or not inclined to believe law enforcement? I'm more inclined because I'm technically one of them. And she kept asking me like, "Oh, well, would you be impartial?" Well, I'm technically more inclined to believe them because, again, I'm one of them.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that, mind you, she had three more questions to ask me, but she stopped at the first one. She had, you think you're good with him? Yeah, we're good. We don't need him. Okay.
You technically law enforcement?
TSA is technically law enforcement.
Yes, it
Uh,
is.
you got any handcuffs? You
Like,
have
not to throw
handcuffs?
you into
Mm.
that tier, but I actually
Yeah, do
disagree
it.
with them on that one.
Ah,
Like, don't
come
get me wrong, I wouldn't want to flood a jury with people who would be a little bit biased,
Mm-hmm.
but it's because you understand other people in that field that if they said something off, you would question it.
Mm.
I would rather have your opinion or Sanguine's because you do know what you're talking about. You do know what they're talking about. So if
Well-
they're saying something that's correct,
Well, the problem with it is it's a criminal case where it's more they're trying to argue that the officer did something wrong, and they're calling him as a material witness or her as a material witness. So essentially, it was going to be the officer's word against hers in this case.
So I had to check a little bit here. They are law enforcement, but but they can't really arrest anyone.
Yep.
Again, didn't I just say technically law enforcement? I didn't say actual law enforcement. I said
that was
technically.
going to be my question. I was trying to ask you.
It's
But we
kind of
do-
like how COs are technically Leos as well, but COs aren't able to arrest you.
Well, all right. So my jurisdiction is the airport. My jurisdiction is technically airport. In the airport, outside of an actual LEO, I have kind of slightly more authority. But that's where my jurisdiction is. Just like a CO is, his jurisdiction is that prison. You know, he goes to another prison and he's just a fucking visitor. I go to another airport, I'm just another visitor. However, in my airport, I have a little bit more authority. I am still technically law enforcement. I'm an overglorified and underpaid security guard. It's still law enforcement. It's federal law. No matter how you fucking spin it.
like I do understand that like they don't want to risk bias. Like, you know, I do get that you're going to take your side a little bit, but I don't know. I just figure if he had actually done something wrong and like even in your own personal opinion, you were like, yeah, if I saw my guy do that, I would be horrified. I would still think your opinion's valid, you know?
Well, again, half of it is you want a juror that would be. Again, you remember when you're selecting jury, at least in the American system, both the prosecution and the defense get to dismiss jurors, and they're gonna pick a juror who is more on their side. They don't have to agree that I'm gonna dismiss this juror. We both gotta agree to dismiss this juror. No, one side has I believe it is a set number in Maryland at least. There's a set number of jurors that they can say no, we don't want you.
Okay.
Both sides have that.
I
Each
like
side is
having a
able to-
variety of opinions when it comes to stuff, especially when it's a big thing.
Each side is able to put down effectively certain vetoes. And
Yeah.
one of the most common vetoes is if it's a case involving law enforcement, then typically the
Okay, that's better.
prosecutor or the defense, depending on which one, but it's typically the prosecutor if it's a case that involves a law enforcement officer being accused, that will go, we don't want law enforcement officers.
Yeah, and on the opposite end, on a criminal trial where the defendant is a criminal versus a law enforcement officer, it is the defense will veto law enforcement.
Yep, they'll get rid of the law enforcement officers in the jury pool because they don't want them there, which is extremely annoying because when you go through training, Tier, you probably got much the same training, and you're doing the use of force training.
Well, we didn't have use of force, but we do have it is more like applied like for our searches. Like we do more searching than actual physical contact. So we have to know how to do a search, and we also have to know how to articulate while we did the search.
Yep. And for when I was a correction officer, we had use of force continuum training, which is the same sort of training that you get as a police officer. And use of force continuum goes through, this is when you can do X, Y, Z at what point, and the standard that we're held to is not the blanking on the normal term for the when it's just an educated person.
A layman's term?
Well, there's a phrase that is when you're dealing with a lot of different things, you'll use just an educated person's assessment, effectively, where if an educated person...
A reasonable person's assessment of the situation.
Yes. So that's one standard that you can use, and for a lot of things, you'll use the reasonable person. But there's a higher standard than reasonable person, which is the reasonable professional.
Yes.
And use of force is supposed to be judged on the reasonable professional standard rather than the reasonable person's standard.
Yes.
Which makes it infuriating that in court cases on use of force, they get rid of anyone who would be a reasonable professional.
Who would have the nuanced perspective to judge.
Yeah. So you end up with shit like, this is going to potentially get me in trouble depending on who hears this. You end up with shit like the use of force in the Floyd case. Yeah. The show.
Again, honestly,
hey, I heard that.
Honestly, I think Shogun was in the right in that situation.
Yes,
He
was.
He
did what
should.
he was supposed to do.
Yep. He should have been protected because it was within the training. It was within the way that it was demonstrated within the training.
But all four of them were sacrifices.
But
he was basically martyred, is what happened.
Yeah, he's gonna be forever remembered as the guy in Assassin's Creed who boinked Oda's wife because they couldn't create an original Yasuke.
He was scapegoated.
Yes.
He had the entirety of law enforcement failed him, the courts failed him, his job failed him, the people failed him.
Okay, I got one for you. This is how you know that all three of them were sacrificed. There was a trainee among them. He wasn't involved indirectly. He was handling crowd control, and they fucking fired and found him guilty. How is he in the wrong in the situation?
Mm-hmm.
He was handling crowd control. He was nowhere near George Floyd when he died. They all four of them were sacrifices.
Yep, they were.
Yeah. And
they needed martyrs to.
No, they didn't. It wasn't. No. Hold on. That's not martyrdom. Those are There's a huge difference between a martyr and a sacrifice. A martyr is someone that does it goes down willingly. He sacrifices himself willingly. Someone that is sacrificed, scapegoated, is somebody that is forced or made to do it.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Yeah,
there's a huge world of difference.
He was scapegoated, and it should have been something that, if the reasonable professional standard was used, that a reasonable person can look at that and they can go, well, it looks like he's kneeling on the person's neck, and that's bad. A reasonable professional would go, well, the way that his leg is positioned, that's all the weight across the scapula, so that isn't on the neck. And he was using this solely for control, which is what that position is meant to be used for. And he used it within the way that was outlined within the training documents. And he executed it properly. He also had already called EMS, because once he started to report that he couldn't breathe, which was before he was put down into the control position.
He started that while he was in the vehicle, wasn't it?
Yep. He started it well before, and it should have been, with the reasonable professional standard, everything was followed in the use of force continuum in the proper way. The control hold was used in the proper way. It should have been, oh, okay, this is a tragic ending to a completely legal thing. And
it was
we
a
can
complete legal stop, too.
we can change what the guidelines are for the hold if we believe that it has too much danger associated with it. But we can't look at the person who did the hold as they were trained, in the way that they were trained, in the proper part of the use of force continuum, and say, well, they should have known better, because no, everything that they had said, this is valid. This is the way that you do this. And they did
the fact that he was the fact that he was overdosing at the exact same time.
Are you robotic? Is he robotic for anybody else but me?
Yeah,
he absolutely is. But I was gonna say, that was my line of thinking for that case, was like, if they had, say he wasn't struggling so much and they'd left him in the car, with the amount of fentanyl that was in his system,
he would have died in the car. Yeah.
I think that's a key point to keep in mind, is that he was already detained in a car and he requested to come out of the car and get onto the ground. So, despite anything else afterwards, this is, again, I'm surprised that we're still going at it, I guess, to pardon the officer. But for anybody sitting here arguing the case that, Floyd was killed by a police stop, it's just, honestly,
it's not that I'm arguing. That whole trial was fucked up. He should have got. He shouldn't got. They should have either sequestered the jury. They should have got a fucking change of venue, or and again sequestered the jury, and they should have had reasonable
they should have used
training.
the reasonable.
Well, hold on, Tira.
Yes.
Why didn't you go to jury duty then?
I'm not in that state. That's your state.
I'm fucking joking around. That's not much. He wasn't in Chicago. Get out of here.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry.
But yeah, the issue
Tira, I love you.
is how we got onto this topic was we were talking about how Leos are often excluded from jury duty.
Yeah.
And this is one of the issues with that practice. It makes sense from the lawyer's perspective, because it becomes a lot harder to convince someone if they have too much background information, shall we say?
If I know what's going on, then yes, it is harder to convince me.
Yeah.
And it's even harder when that person who's processing that information has all that background going on in their background. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That's why I was disagreeing with Tier. Like, I get why it does what it does. Like, I understand the system is what it is. But when I hear stuff like that... I was
talking about booty cake.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, like, that's why I think there's so many absolute criminals being re-released onto the streets. Like, there is a reason why... No, I do understand that some cops can have bad cops, but that's why I'd rather have another policeman's opinion. You know, because if I do actually think that if you guys caught another guy actually fucking lying, yeah, I do think you would call him out.
Yep. And this is something that happens a lot, but there are cases of bad apples and bad departments. And because of that, everyone goes, oh no, the cops are always just going to defend other cops. Leos are just going to defend other Leos. When I was a correction officer, we had a handful of people that all the correction officers were trying desperately to get the senior staff, the higher ups, to realize this bitch is fucking dirty.
They were fucking up, yeah.
Hey, I think it's fair to say that there are good people in these departments, but there's overwhelming people who are dirty, and even more so those who are willing to toe the line just to keep their job, and those are just as bad. No, that's the reality that we have to accept.
It's not overwhelming. What it is, people that do have an outsized effect, which is what I'm saying.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
That's a different thing than the overwhelming number of cops.
I understand the reasoning, but from the outside perspective, when that innocent person has their rights removed because some jaded cop decides that they are having a bad day, and then every other cop sits there and defends them because whatever fucking reason, it doesn't matter. That innocent person has their life ruined. This is what we're talking about. I get the whole, yes, these understandable, but we're also giving you guys the responsibility and the power to be able to do what you need to do. So we expect a little bit more from you.
I agree with Adam. I agree, Adam. I agree with you. I think cops should be held to a higher standard.
Yep.
However, like if in a situation like to use Rod's turn of phrase, Rod has something to I believe it's called justified immunity, where No, not qualified. He has justified immunity. In a case of a issue where it is like use of force and shit like that, it goes to a review panel of like fellow officers, not of the same state, so there's no professional loyalties or anything, but fellow officers, people that know, and they review everything, look at it, see if it's a legal use of force. Okay, and I think that if in the situation, hold on, let me finish. In a situation where it isn't a legal use of force, then it's a criminal case because we've determined that this was not justified. This was excessive. Therefore, it can go to trial. However, we determined that this was a clean shoot. No. We're not going to let you do that because it's a clean shoot. Remember the chick that like stabbed the one Asian officer that came out like a fucking banshee?
Yes, no. Okay, hold on. I get what you're saying. However, this is where they get away with it. Is let us go through these procedures and let us go through. Yeah, it may not be from our district, but it's other cops from other districts. Let them regulate because we're gonna trust them over. Look, the reality is, there's far too many instances where police officers are getting away with doing whatever they're doing, and then, oh yeah, just take it up with the law. Yeah, well, the law is in cahoots with it, and now the citizen has to sit there and pay out of their own pocket to go and deal with all this bullshit. All the while, the police officer, they're going to be paying it nothing because it's coming out of the taxpayer's dollar. So yeah, the defendant has to pay out of it either way. This is what I'm talking about. If there's a little bit more justification, again, it's leeway. I get that there's, you're in dangerous situations for those areas, but for every other area where it's a clear-cut case. If you want to sit there, and sit and the death penalty. We don't want the death penalty because they could be innocent and new evidence could come up and we should let them off because we found out that they were really innocent. Awesome. Well, if that's the case, then in instances where it's not a holy shit, this guy drew a gun, it was, oh no, this officer fucking dragged this person out of their car for fucking failing to turn a turn signal on. It's like, but that is where we should know, because it happens. It happens a lot. And
but that's a different argument.
No. I'm not talking about the extreme cases. This is where they try and get you off to. It's like, oh, what happens if there's a terrorist and he has a bomb strapped? It's like, I'm not talking about that, because I'm talking about the normal instances where every other person runs across it, where it's a normal instance, and all of a sudden now they're tethered into the law or the judicial system for fucking years on end for bullshit. But
that's a different. Adam, you're going to a way over extreme. All right, so what I'm trying to say, in issues that can be justifiably proven, like, say again, I bring up the shoot between the one that came out like a fucking raving banshee, and people tried to get the cop arrested. Why? He was justified. She came out with a knife and was acting aggressive. He had to put her down. Clean shoot.
Yes. Hold on. And on the opposite end, there's an instance where there was a person who was pulled over and he said, yes, I have a firearm in me in the vehicle. And he had both hands on the wheel and he had a dash cam on. And they went through the whole thing where it was like, oh, hey, you know what? We're going to go and draw the weapon and we're going to go and we're going to search your vehicle and we're going to go through this whole bullshit and arrest you. Even though you said, yes, officer, whatever you pulled for whatever bullshit reason you pulled me over, tinted windows or turn signal or whatever. I told you I had a firearm. I have both hands on the wheel. And you're still gonna go through this whole ordeal like I'm fucking trying to assault you.
All right,
no. And then they went through the trial. And even though the plaintiff won, like the guy won based off against the police force, he had to go through this whole judicial system bullshit. He had to pay so much money to go through that to defend himself because some bullshit cop decided, you know what? Oh, I'm not going to believe you. I'm going to think you're going to try and shoot me. That's where I draw the line, dude. That's where it's like, you know what?
And that's all well and good.
No. And it's not a one-off system. It happens all the fuck time.
I'm not
that's
saying...
where we need review. And that's where I would say, you know
Adam,
what?
Calm down.
He should be able to reverse it and punish those, because the police officer that drew the gun on him, she was promoted to a detective.
Adam, you're filibustering here.
Look, what I'm trying to say, in a situation like that's a completely, utterly different situation than what I'm trying to say. And in that instance, then yes, there is an issue. However, the situation that I'm talking about, that I'm bringing up, is not that issue. The issue of justifiable force. That was how this whole conversation started. Justified use of force. And again, justifiable immunity. If in the case of doing your job, we have somebody on a panel, your peers who would know better, like who say, well, we would have it like set up like a sort of police Supreme Court, if you will. There are 9 officers from different jurisdictions all reviewing this footage and trying to see were you in the wrong based on their knowledge. And granted, it'll probably be from different jurisdictions, and they'll probably have their jurisdictional, regulations. But even then, they probably would look, all right, what's the jurisdictional regulation in the area where this happened? Okay, what's the ruling? What's the training like? Something that they could, because they already know the basics. They just have this added context that others won't have. And if they say, okay, based on what we know, but based on what the training is, this was clean.
So, yeah,
good.
What I'm going to tell you is something that a lot of people don't seem to know. What you just described is every single time there's a police-involved shooting.
Pretty much, yeah.
Every single time that there's a police-involved shooting, what happens is that there's typically 3 to 4...
I am having horrible audio issues.
Clearly.
Yep. There's typically 3 to 4 police departments that investigate it, which do not include the department that the officers are a part of.
Makes sense.
The FBI...
I'm going to do something real quick. Hold on.
Copies that. The FBI investigates it, and typically at least one other federal agency.
Okay.
So, for police-involved shootings, this already happens. The thing that I have an issue with is that there's the way that the qualified immunity is written up word for word, and then there's the way that it's been applied, and those don't always sync up. Because the way that it is written up, and the spirit of the law as well, is that a officer will not be opened up for civil trials as long as they're acting within the scope of their job.
Again, makes sense.
If you were pulling someone over and you pulled them over in the right way and you went through the right process, then you're supposed to be immune from being tried or being sued over that stop.
You also have to articulate your reasoning as well, very well.
Yes. The way that it is unfortunately being used is the way that Adam is having problems with it, and the way that a lot of people have problems with it, which, for some fucking reason, rather than people going through the process of going, okay, was this entirely in keeping with the responsibilities and the job, or did this violate that? And there's a lot of instances where that check is not being done.
Yes, because people want expediency.
Yep, that check should be done. That check should always be done. And in the instances where it is, yep, this is in violation, then the officer shouldn't have qualified immunity, which is when, again, you read the people talking about why they were passing qualified immunity, and when you read into qualified immunity, that is the spirit and also the letter of the law, is that if they're acting in accordance with all of the proper policies, with all of the proper laws, that, yeah, you don't get to sue a cop for pulling you over when you were driving without a license and had lights out. You don't get to sue him because he pulled you over and made you late for work. That's off the table. But it's supposed to be that if an officer has violated those laws, if an officer has violated policy, then you can absolutely go, okay, this officer was not acting with respect to his position, was not acting with the proper laws and the proper policies and protocols. So because he was acting outside of that, he should be able to be brought up on a lawsuit. Also, qualified
The
immunity
officer is not
just
allowed to.
Go ahead.
An officer is not allowed to fucking go over your rights just because of what they perceive as
Which
as
is
near
what
to
I
well.
was
And
just
also,
going through, Adam.
yes, but also the drawback is that when you so go after them with the law. All they do is slow bag you. They're gonna fucking just drag it through the court system. So now you have to wait. And again, that's where the other issue comes in. Is now you have to fucking sit there and play with that defense system to even get anything. So it's like, yeah, well, do you want to either just let this guy fuck with you, or you can go and deal with it in the law and spend a whole bunch of money, which either way is going to be going into the whole fucking system to begin with. So it's a whole fucking racket. Dude, it's a racket.
That isn't
Fuck
where the other problem is. That is where the problem is. It's not the other problem. It is the problem. So what I'm saying is that we have an issue with the way that this is being applied, and we have an issue with the way that the courts are handling it. We absolutely should be going after that. We should be going after the way the courts are handling it and the way that the law is being applied. Because again,
I think we can do both. I think we can sit there and say, yeah, we got to reform the court systems and make sure that they're fucking actually doing these things at a speedy process. And you know what? If it's a fucking traffic violation, yeah, cut through that like a fast food lane. But the fact that we have to fucking deal with this bullshit. The other thing is, yeah. We gotta hard hit these cops. I understand, yes, defend them, but then at the same time, the bullshit has to stop. It's ridiculous.
Agreed. I think
that we are seeing this
we have
shit,
a problem,
and it takes
Adam, you're
so long to deal with it.
You're coming in with a lot of heat, acting like there has been a disagreement.
No, I'm not in a disagreement. All I'm saying is you're talking about it like it's like 2015. Dude, it's 2025. We've already had these conversations before. There's no reason that we have to slowball this shit and sit there and be like,
yes, we did.
We have to figure out how we're gonna figure out how these people are gonna deal with this families and shit. Dude, if you are on these,
I got a question for you, Adam.
And you're seeing this shit and you're allowing this shit to happen. Sorry, you're part of the problem. I hate to say it, you're part of the problem.
I got a question for you. Would you want someone to for the sake of expediency skip over a step and potentially get you fired when that step would have saved your job because they don't know that step exists? You just want them to skip over it. Now,
I work in the private sector, sir. We already have those implements in place. I can't fuck over things because I will get fired.
Okay, all right. Do you remember the Freddie Gray riots in Baltimore, like 2015, if I'm not mistaken?
The what?
What was it?
The Freddie Gray riots in Baltimore, about 2015.
Oh yeah, the Baltimore riots. Yeah.
All right, so 4 people were charged in the death of Freddie Gray. They charged the 2 arresting officers. They charged the paddy wagon driver. And he charged the acting supervisor. Now, in that process, they went and reviewed. When he got into the car, he was fine. He was strapped down and he was good. They did everything they needed to do to get him in. When they got there, he was unresponsive. Now, the initial thing was, they're going to try him all for essentially his death and murder. However, upon review of the information, somebody in the car with him said that no, he was strapped down just like he was, and he was banging his head against the wall. He was doing that. It was him. Mm-hmm. So what people come to understand is,
oh my god. Okay, hold on. Let me. I'm gonna stop you right there because I really don't care for these extreme. You know what? Here's an extreme. Here's an extreme. There's an incident where a fucking person called the police because he saw people or a guy walking around his house on his ring cam at like 4 a.m, and he called the police to just roll by and make sure that nothing's happening, because the guy looked like he was coming up to the house, but he ran away. And then the cops came by. The cop came in, and the first instance that the cop did was go and try and open the doors of the vehicles that were there. And then he went to go open the doors of the house. And then he went to go into the backyard and try and open those fucking doors. And then he goes to the fucking backyard, and as soon as the fucking wife opened the door, because holy shit,
not an extreme case?
Hold on. It is an extreme case, but you don't hear about it on the news because what happens is the cop the cop shoots the dog. He shoots the dogs that came out because the wife opens the doors like, what's going on? And the dogs run outside. The cop shoots both the dogs. One of the dogs fucking runs off. And then he holds the wife. Hey, get the fuck down. And the wife goes and hands up. The kids come out because they're about to come outside for fucking school. Incident. Yeah, you're right. This is an incident, but you don't hear about it because all of a sudden, we got to respect the cops. What the fuck was this asshole doing? Opening the doors, trying to fucking search around the house when all he has to do was fucking patrol around the area. Don't give me this shit that all of a sudden, oh no, but you don't understand. He was feared for his life because he didn't know what was going on.
We didn't hear about the incident that was national news.
He put himself in that situation.
We didn't hear about the incident that was national news.
And okay, what's the other incident? Oh no, he found a car bomb. What the fuck else, dude? This is what I'm talking about. These incidences where this cop went to the backyard. These incidences, this happens more often than not, and this is why I say it's
reported on more often than not.
No, it's not. That's the
really
problem.
Fucking prevalent. Except your case was national news.
We heard about it up here in Canada too. It was pretty international
news. So you don't hear about it. Here's a case that you don't hear about in international news.
Right? And I had to pull that one just to fucking get the news out. How many more of these fucking instances are there? Do you want me to tell you about Bob, who had his ex-wife call a suicide threat on him?
There are whole channels on YouTube that are dedicated to those, Mr. Adam.
Adam,
yeah,
all I'm asking, hold on, everybody. All I'm saying, Adam, is this.
But why are you okay? Hold on. Why are you okay with that? Why are you
Who said I'm okay with
what we're saying?
Adam, no one said they're okay with that kind of stuff.
I'm just asking for time and information. That's all I'm asking. I want a review process that we go through the process and we look at it. And if they're guilty, they're fucking guilty. Charge them. If they're not, they're not. Don't charge them. That's all I personally want. Because there are good men and women, good officers who get swept up in bad shit because the media makes it a prevalent case and now they want expediency. Instead of letting the process fucking play out. The process is the process.
Because, hold on. If you want to sit there and play there's YouTube channels on it. Awesome. There's also YouTube channels on the fucking lawsuit against them. And look how long it takes shit to go through.
These
people have to
what the fuck has happened?
I don't know.
Adam,
what the fuck has happened?
What's happened is that we started on one topic, then we moved to another topic. I laid out exactly what I was saying, and it was ignored for a different argument.
I completely missed half of what everybody said because my audio was bungling.
So I laid out.
So I didn't hear anything.
The entire thing about the issue with qualified immunity and how it should be fixed. Because the issue that you're having, Adam, is with the misuse of qualified immunity. Mm-hmm. I laid out that, yes, qualified immunity has problems. We don't get rid of it because it has good aspects. What we need to do is we need to actually apply it correctly. And that would get rid of the issues that you're talking about where, well, you can't go after these people. if they got rid of the qualified immunity in cases that they should get rid of qualified immunity, which is when they were not following the proper policies, they weren't following the proper laws, they fucked up, which is when that's supposed to be, it's pulled away, because qualified immunity is only supposed to apply in instances where an officer is keeping with all the proper policy, with all the proper laws, is doing their job correctly, and then some asshole goes, well, I don't like the fact that you made me late for work. So they decide to sue them. That is what qualified immunity is supposed to protect you from. Or you end up with a legitimate shoot, a clean shoot that is entirely above board, and then the family tries to sue you. That's when qualified immunity is supposed to kick in. When you fucked up, you aren't supposed to have qualified immunity. The problem is, as I said, that there has been a misapplication of qualified immunity, and it has been applied in cases that it should not be applied in. What we need to do is, rather than going, let's get rid of qualified immunity, what we need to do is we need to go, okay, we need to make sure that qualified immunity is properly applied, and that when it is found that, yep, this person was not meeting the criteria for qualified immunity, they're left to their own devices to deal with this shit. So it becomes, rather than you fighting the entire police force, and not the entire police force, but the entire state government apparatus, because that's what it often turns into, it is you going after the one motherfucker who fucked up. That's what it should be. And that gets rid of the issue that you're citing, Adam, where it's, you have this massively drawn-out process. I agree, it shouldn't be a massively drawn-out process, but that doesn't mean that we just skip steps. It means what happens is that review is done, it's done appropriately, and then if it turns out that they violated shit, they lose the qualified immunity. And
agreed,
you get to go at them without any problem.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, we don't skip step. The process is the process.
And I'm saying the process needs repair, but we still need the process.
Yes.
See, and here's where I was, ladies, I apologize if it was a little bit passionate there. But the issue was trying to explain to these two that the process is broken. And the reason the reason that there are people that are frustrated with the shit
you're being kind of a little bit of a lady yourself, ma'am.
Yeah, shut up.
Okay, ma'am.
The reason the reason the people are being agitated with it is because that the process is busted and it's taking way too long for
the onions are cutting themselves, Adam.
Unions, they probably are part of it, but yeah, no, the police union, the police unions are probably part of it. So I mean, this is why there are issues with this process. It takes way too long.
Adam, I'm going to give you a third chance at this. So I have stated explicitly in detail that the process is flawed and that the process needs to be fixed.
Okay, so I'm in agreement.
That I have said that it is flawed and that it needs fixing, because you have twice now, after I've said that I think that the process is fine. Will you admit that I've said 3 times now?
I don't know what you said. I'm just saying that
exactly because whole, you didn't fucking listen.
No, I'm saying the whole issue that is.
You can't say that you don't know what I said and not be admitting that you didn't listen. And if you aren't going to listen to what I am saying or what anyone else is saying in this, it isn't a conversation. It's a shouting match. And I have no interest in a shouting match. That makes sense?
Yeah, so you disagree to agree.
Jesus Christ.
We're all agreeing, dude. We're all agreeing that the system's fucked up and it needs to be fixed.
We agree that there's a problem with the system. We each have a different way that we think the system should be fixed. You're the one who keeps on saying that we don't think that there's a problem.
I mean, worst case scenario, you could always borrow cops from Quebec. I promise they'll only run over your seniors with the tenders.
Fair.
I mean, can we trade them off for the geese?
The geese would
You
work
don't want the
fine.
geese.
I don't want the geese.
Yeah, I don't want the geese.
If you think that there's a problem with police brutality, if you had an entirely Canadian goose police force,
Honk, honk, motherfuckers.
Why stop at geese?
Honk,
when you could,
honk.
like, figure out moose.
The moose might be a bit much. I'd work with the geese. Well, no, I don't want the geese. I want the police. Whatever your
He wants the Royal Mounties.
Yeah.
He wants the Royal Mountie.
You really
Those
don't.
are just moose in disguise.
Yeah, you gotta take into account. Once upon a time, our Mounties might have got caught taking natives and then dropping them outside of the city in the middle of buckfuck winter, and it killed a bunch of people. And they were prosecuted.
Horrible.
They were prosecuted, rightfully so.
And yeah, rotten. Now that has been dealt with, fine to move.
So anyway, speaking of Canada, did you hear about their new wannabe prime minister?
Well, she's Kanakastani.
Oh yeah, they're unelected technocrat.
I keep telling the Brits that he's the love child of Macron and Starmer, and Starmer is the love child of his mom and Douglas Hurd, and therefore they must accept our mail from the Royal Mail.
We believe that whatever Trump is saying is an act of war.
Yeah, the thing that drives me crazy is that they have been going so hard in the paint that, well, Elon's an unelected technocrat. And I've heard Canadians rant about this endlessly for some fucking reason.
He's not an elected official. Fuck off.
Neither are they.
Yeah, then the thing that they do immediately after that is they have their prime minister, who wasn't elected, just put in his position because of his connections with both the Bank of Canada and the Bank of England.
Castro
Look, I'm gonna say this. I'm going to stay out of Kanakastani politics, and I want Kanakastani politicians to stay out of American politics.
It's no Mexican politics.
To be honest, it's probably
Mexican
better
radio?
to for the moment, because I think it's going to be an argument between the East and the West, and
You know, I don't have issues with Jane. You know, I love you, right?
Mhm.
It's not the issue with you. It is people telling me how to live. Like, it doesn't fucking matter if Elon was voted in. Elon's not a public official. He is doing a service for his country.
Yeah, the thing that always cracks me up about he isn't elected, he isn't confirmed, is okay, yeah, he's in a position that has never been elected. You don't elect positions like that. Those are always
He's in an advisory
appointees.
position only.
Yeah, he's in an appointed position, and then the other people going, well, he wasn't confirmed. Yeah, not every appointed position is confirmed. There's certain levels of appointed position and up that are confirmed. He falls below those levels, so he's in a position that has never been confirmed. The fucker who was in the office before him wasn't confirmed. Oh, but he doesn't have the ability to make the office. The office that he is actively in was made by an executive order.
So There's actually only one point in all of this that's been going on that actually matters to me. Like, they can argue with Elon, they can argue with Trump, they can argue on specifics, they can even be unhappy with what's going on. But the minute they started car bombing, even the key, like, it's petty, but like I could forgive that because that it's you can sue for that. You're not going to die from it. But the minute they've been car bombing Teslas.
They've been
there's been videos everywhere.
And the places where they're selling the cars. And I'm like, the minute you did that, you put other people at risk because you're angry over your politics. You are now a fascist. You are now the person.
No, that's domestic terrorism, isn't it?
It is.
Oh yeah, it is.
Wait. I read I get to say this. They have now crossed the Rubicon. There is no fucking coming back from this one.
The minute they actually hurt somebody, with this shit, honestly, I don't care if people punch them anymore. I will starve myself a little bit the next month just to donate money to their GoFundMe because I'm so tired of their violence. And I don't want it to get there. Sorry.
They posted that website where they doxed all the people who have a Tesla.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, they
What if
just did
somebody
that.
bought a Tesla just because it's the car that they can afford and would work best for them?
Hold on,
And
I got one for you.
Wait
a minute, Kefki and everybody. I got one for all of you. Who are the primary buyers of Teslas?
It used to be
lefties.
Yep.
So who currently owns majority of the fucking Teslas? It is literally
lefties.
It is an Ouroboros. It is literally the left eating itself. It is
this is what
hilarious.
When you fuck a stranger in the ass. Are you happy now? This is what happens when you fuck a stranger in the ass.
Look, I'm sorry. I was high. It happened, Adam. Get over it.
Hey, Tier.
Yes.
They're also trying to compare the fact that Kid Rock shot beer cans with that Mulvaney face on it.
Shot his own beer cans.
I know.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me parse this one out. Wait a minute. I'm gonna need a drink. Because this one's gonna be slightly longer. Now, mind you, I'm not an intelligent man. I'm just some retard on the internet. But you're comparing Kid Rock taking his own money and purchasing a shit ton of beer and putting it up on his property and using ammo that he purchased and guns that he purchased on his property where no one can be hurt because again it's his property. To you going to a dealership and firebombing a Tesla that you didn't purchase because hold on because you don't like the asshole that owns the company that he may have made them but he isn't one manufacturing them.
Right.
Because you don't and mind you, hold on, because I'm retarding on the internet. Now I gotta get this one out. You also are the climate change group that are buying Tesla because it's quote unquote environmentally friendly, but you're putting so much carbon in the air because Teslas can't just be put out like regular fires. They either have to be specially snuffed out, especially because of the lithium-ion battery that's in them, or they just gotta fucking let them burn. So now you're torching these cars that cannot be put out by most jurisdictions. Sorry, most fire departments because it is specialized equipment. Releasing all this carbon into the air. You're destroying the environment you say you care so much about.
By throwing a fucking Molotov cocktail inside the damn car.
Now, again, I'm just some idiot on the internet. I'm not special. I only passed college with a A-. You know, I'm not that intelligent. You know, I was third in my class, but you know that's not.
It's
that's
okay,
not saying
Peter,
anything.
you forgot to breathe.
Thank you.
I don't want to be that guy with the prediction. And the thing with these guys being so roused up, I think it could in fact happen. They're going to do this at a dealership, and people are going to.
They are.
No, I mean, when in doing this at a dealership, they're actually going to seriously hurt somebody.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
not
that's
yet.
the point.
Not yet. Not yet. Now,
Like, thank God it hasn't happened. But like because it's challenging chance by repeatedly doing the same behavior.
For the grace of a merciful God, no one has been harmed yet.
It's still domestic terrorism. So
it is still domestic terrorism. It is still essentially criminal actions, and you're doing it not because Elon did something to you personally. You're doing it because you don't like the fact that he mind you, he's a black man, so it goes doubly for him. When a black person leaves,
he's an African American. There's a difference.
Oh, you're right. He's African American. My bad. I'm sorry. No, he's black. He's American of African descent.
No,
he's black.
Yep, that's true. Elon's black.
He's African American. You can do that one. You can't say he's black.
He is.
Because he's not black. He is African American.
Nope, he is American. He's American.
To skin tone, not to what
his swastika doesn't.
He is American of African descent. He is a black man.
He is an American of African descent. He's not.
He's culturally a black
from
man.
South Africa, so
he is culturally a black man.
Yep, yeah.
Culturally,
right.
Is a different way of saying it, but yeah, he's not a black man because
yes, he is.
No, in order to be a black man, you have to be black.
All right. Sanguine, don't take this the wrong way. Please don't take this the wrong way. But is the white man telling the black man who the fuck can't be a black man?
Yeah,
yes, we have a long history.
What about Rachel Dolezal?
I'm just saying.
That's why I fucking love this stream.
It's like
we have a long
I have
going to deny me my heritage, Tier?
Yes.
It's like Tier. I have another friend in a different Discord who's our token black friend, and because he's surrounded by Brits every day, they systematically turn him ginger and more ginger. And then they keep offering him tea, and he's like, "No, I'm into sweet tea. I'm from America, bitches." And they're like, "No, you're British now.
you're British by association."
Reverse Hollywooding him.
Yes.
Holy shit!
They're turning the.
All right. So which redhead actor did he replace?
They're turning. Yeah, they want to turn the black man ginger.
They're reverse Hollywooding. So rather than turning a ginger character black, they're taking a black man and they're making him a ginger.
Yep.
God damn it! Hold on. It's insidious.
Wait.
Look, I'm crying.
That's how you get a dark gingerbread man.
Nice.
That's how you burn a gingerbread man.
No, if you're trying to get a gingerman bread, that is all kinds of fucked up. It
Yeah, see? Elon is just white chocolate.
Hey, I'm only half ginger, so this conversation's okay.
All right, but my point being is as a
gingerman, you can the women.
No, my point is that they hate when someone leaves the plantation. They fucking can't stand it, and because they're so dyed in the wool, it's either black or white, and I'm not using like the racial term here. I'm using either good or evil. They don't see the shades of nuance, and Trump is essentially Satan at this point. Elon has become the new Hitler,
which is
basically yes.
All they've really done.
South Park predicted it.
All they've really done is they've let everyone know who they really are at heart, because when Elon first hit the scene, it was like, oh, look, here's this guy who started off his life with autism, and look, he's making rockets and he's shooting cars off into space, which was still,
they called him the real life
Tony Stark. He was. He literally is the futurist. However, now that he's seen them for what they are, and he's realized, holy shit, if I throw my lot in with these cunts, I'm going to be broke.
You'd figure he'd gain some good fortune after the rescue of the astronauts.
But
and then the landing with the dolphins and all that.
But
that hasn't been covered in news.
The problem with that, Adam,
that memory hold fast.
Yeah, they've been explicitly.
Yeah, I saw it all over the place.
Oh, I have seen it in a bunch of places, but they are. If you're center or if you're right, it's been talked about.
But
you'll also see it.
Wait a minute,
Jen. Oh, sorry.
I'm just saying. Hold on.
Get siloed in the left-wing media. Yeah, it isn't talked about.
No. My point is, it only matters when it doesn't matter because Elon has been the programming has gone out, the update has gone out that Elon is persona non grata. He is the enemy. And Elon could cure cancer. He could discover, unlimited gold. He could solve cold fusion. And they would still hate him. Just like Donald Trump. When he said to them, there was nothing I can do to make you fucks happy. Like, I could cure cancer right now today, and you would still not clap for me. So why am I trying to please you?
I love that Trump said that.
Why am I trying to please you?
Racist.
Yeah, they would come out for cancer.
Oh yeah, one of the things. Well, they kind of did.
Sorry, Jen.
No, you're
came
good.
to the child.
What?
You guys heard about that, right?
No.
What?
So
What?
there was a young boy right before.
Oh yeah, the one that got honorary. He got honorary.
Secret Service.
Yeah.
Yep. So
that guy.
His accent is so cute. Like, I know that's because of the brain surgery and stuff.
Yo, do you see the video of the people making jokes at him before it?
Hold on.
People just ripping the shit out of him.
Wait a second. Kefki is trying to ask a question.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted. I didn't hear about it. I was curious if Moses, you would tell me what happened.
What happened was there was a young black boy who, what was he, 6 when he was diagnosed here?
Yeah, I think it was 6, and he had 13 different surgeries, and he's only like 13.
So he was diagnosed with cancer at like the age of 6.
They told him months to live.
He was given a few months to live. He's now 14 or 15.
13. No, 13? I think he was 13, and he's turning 14 this year.
Okay. Oh, that's awesome!
Yep. So he has always had this lifelong dream of becoming a law enforcement agent of some sort. And
hold on. Sanguine, I want to really quickly. You have to let me explain the fucked up shit. I think it was Mika Prezino said.
Oh yeah, I'll let you
done.
Explain that bit. I'm explaining the story behind it, and then I'll let you go into all the shit that people have been saying.
Yeah, get done with the nice part of the story.
So that story somehow came to the attention of Trump.
No, he was getting bullied, and it was like they videotaped it because he wanted to be a law enforcement agent.
Oh.
And
then those videos came to the attention of Trump. Trump went, well, I'm fucking president. Asked the Secret Service, is there any way that we could make him an honorary Secret Service member? And Secret Service said, yeah, we can do that. So he invited the young man and his father to the White House. Had the full honorary swearing in as a Secret Service member.
Yeah.
They had a uniform that was made for him to his side. And they walked him through basic training of a Secret Service member. So, like, this is how you check a room before the president enters, and this is how you do this before that. And then they allowed him to go through that with the assistance of a Secret Service member. So when Donald Trump was about to enter a room, he and a Secret Service member would go in, and both of them would search the room the way that they're supposed to, and then Donald Trump would walk in. And then he did a small speech about how or about the kid's story and what was happening and what had been done, that he was given honorary Secret Service status, that he looks very good in his uniform, and the father should be very proud because his son is a upstanding example of a proper American, and just very sweet, wholesome moment.
Yeah.
And then, Tyr, do you want to explain the response?
I'm gonna give you. There are two responses I want to explain. I want to explain what the Democrats in Congress did or did not do, and then I believe it was Mika Pozingo. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. But what she said when he was given the honorary status, his credentials and whatnot, the right clapped and cheered. There was dead fucking silence on the left side.
And they were fucking disgusting. They just had the most disgusted face that they could ever fucking muster.
But nobody did
if looks
nothing.
could kill, everybody would be dead.
But
I wouldn't say anyone did anything directly to the kid, but the internet is brutal. So I would say that it did instigate some more bullying.
So, hold on,
even when asked about it, a lot of them couldn't even respond as to why they didn't want to at least clap for him.
Yep. All right, I got one more. Wait a minute. This is the worst part about that entire situation. So again, I think it was Mika Pozingo. I could be wrong. I don't know these fucking pundits because they're all pieces of shit. One said, "I'm happy that he got that, but I'm praying that he doesn't, when he's full-fledged and he's on the beat as a cop, he doesn't commit suicide because the Donald Trump sycophants attack the White House." She looped that shit. She looped it around to January 6th. Somehow, some way, through the power of osmosis and fucking magic, she looped it around to January 6th.
What's January 6th?
So that was
the whole the magical insurrection that they keep loving to bring up.
Yep.
I don't.
Yep. From 2020.
Know what that means.
Well,
the attack on the Capitol.
Oh.
Yep. So they brought up that a bunch of left-wing talking heads, when it comes to social media and a number of other things, have come out and they've been saying, "Oh yeah, everyone expects people to feel sorry. Why would we want another pig?" and shit like that.
They were calling the little kid a pig?
Yeah, there were ones that were calling the little kid whose dream was to become a police officer pig.
The fuck is their problem? That's a child. The fucking child.
Kefki, when you figure that shit out, you tell me.
So, yeah, they have
their heads so buried so far up their asses. They are into just the politics. Just the politics is a fucking cult. They act like a fucking cult. They don't act like. Sorry.
It is literally, again, Trump could cure fucking cancer. He could cure it. And they would, again, there'd be an article tomorrow.
You're taking away jobs from doctors.
Or, how cancer is really good.
Well, one of the most disgusting things.
Here's why cancer is actually a good thing.
One of the most disgusting things that I saw a while ago was there was back around the time that cochlear implants were becoming a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then shortly after that, it rose up again. So, cochlear implants, for those who don't know,
earpieces.
They are a device that can get implanted into a person who has certain types of deafness.
Mm-hmm.
And it will cure their deafness.
Oh, dude.
It will make it so that
that'd be awesome.
Hear. And due to that working, so it's only certain types of deafness. It was if certain bits of the structure of the ear were the issue, the cochlear implant would be able to fix that by effectively taking over the responsibility of those bits of the ear.
Huh.
Really
That's like
cool
a robotic ear.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Effectively, that's kind of what it is. It is a sort of robotic ear that is able to return hearing to people that either lost it due to certain means or just never had it due to certain means.
Yeah.
But there's limitations. It can't return hearing to everyone. But a lot of people were going, well, we have a bunch of techs that we're still working on, and it might become possible that we eradicate deafness in the next 20, 30, 40 years.
Yeah.
There was a response to this that I find absolutely revolting. It was a bunch of people came out and said that people were trying to genocide the deaf.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Please stop for a second. Sanguine, please stop. When did the deaf become a fucking nationality or a race? Tell me when that happened. I don't quite remember the deaf being a race. Like, is there a deaf tribe in the Amazon?
People were so ridiculous.
People came out and said that this is just trying to genocide the deaf. It is just trying to get rid and eradicate deaf culture.
Wait, hold on. Again, when did deafness become a race? Like, I don't understand. You can.
Well, at least we know we'll all end up in the same race eventually.
Yep. So
ridiculous.
You all will be undead. Don't worry. I'll make sure of that.
They came out, and a shit ton of people were just absolutely losing their mind, saying that, like I said, this was going to genocide the deaf, that this was going to eradicate deaf culture, that this is not...
It will. It'll take away the deafness.
Yeah.
This is just gradual eugenics.
What?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they realize that deaf people would love to hear, and they would like, if they had a choice, would most likely not want to be part of a quote-unquote deaf culture. They would like to be part of, I can fucking hear now. It's great. Oh my god.
They did have
Do you guys remember
that came out against this idea, and the people that were pushing it had very specific things that they said about those people, mainly that they were self-hating.
Yep.
And that they would have been the Jews that cheered on the Nazis.
Again, I have this question. Kefki, my depths of loathing these people can go no... Can I'm in the Mariana Trench with these fucks. I say this and I say this now. Again, these are defects in the code. These are broken things. We are trying to fix them. You know, we're not trying to, oh, well, you're deaf, we're going to kill you. No, we are trying to make you better. We're trying to return some level of basic normality to them. It's like using, like Parkinson's disease. I saw like there was some sort of machine that could fix Parkinson's.
Oh, are you talking about the new method where it uses ultrasound on very specific parts of the brain?
Yeah. Again, it's not that we're trying to kill the Parkinson's people. No, we are trying to make them whole again, make them normal, make them 100, close to 100 as they can get. 85, 90. That's great. Not having them at 45. You know, again, how is this bad? We're trying to eliminate a weakness in the code.
I know what's going on. People just want to have something to whine and complain about.
Yep.
No,
just
basically, yeah.
A quick bit of depth on the using ultrasound on the brain bit that I just said.
Yeah.
So there was a med that was developed for Parkinson's that was able to have some effect. It would reduce the side effects of Parkinson's, but it was having a major issue. It couldn't reliably pass the blood-brain barrier. A doctor who was rather brilliant about this figured out that if you put someone into a specialized ultrasound machine and you had them under fMRI, so
I don't think that's the one. I think they would like apply an electric shock to a certain portion of the brain to get it to stimulate. If that's what it was, I think that's what the one I'm thinking about.
Oh, there's also that approach. I thought you were talking about the one that is really fucking cool to my mind. Because what they found out is if you do this and you stick them in with the helmet, that is the specialized ultrasound, and you have them in the fMRI so you can see the structure and you can also see how the brain's lighting up, then you can open up the blood-brain barrier for a short period of time while administering the drug, which then means that the drug gets into the brain and it does exactly what it's supposed to. Really fucking cool tech.
Are people
And I like how our
complaining
tech has
about
gotten
this?
better and better.
And there's a bunch of other things that are being done with this, like there's a trial run on using... You guys familiar with the idea of plaques when it comes to Alzheimer's?
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what I'm... Explain it further. I might be thinking of something else.
There's these plaques that develop in the brain when someone has Alzheimer's. They develop shortly before there's any real sign of mental degradation. They're one of the early signs of Alzheimer's. If they start to form in sufficient number, then it's almost guaranteed that the person will have Alzheimer's and their memories will start to die off effectively.
Okay.
So it's been thought for ages that if you can get rid of these plaques, then you can either slow or completely cure Alzheimer's disease. There's a bunch of experiments still going on with this, but one of the recent things that they did was they went, okay, we have a way of breaking down these plaques. The problem is, again, the blood-brain barrier. Cue the doc who figured out that he could get Parkinson's meds into the brain with ultrasound. He started using the same ultrasound method on patients during an experiment with the plaque buster drug. And when he treats a patient, he'll treat a region of the brain at a time in order to not just open up the blood-brain barrier everywhere, because the blood-brain barrier is fucking important. So they have to be under very specific conditions to make sure that they don't get a brain infection or anything like that.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to dip out of here. I've got to go to bed soon.
Copy that.
Yeah.
Have a good one.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right.
Night.
See you guys.
So, with the plaque busting drug, had problems crossing the blood-brain barrier. They stuck them in the machine. They started administering the drug and using the ultrasound in order to open up the blood-brain barrier. The preliminary results, because the study hasn't come out yet, it's still in testing, but it's possible to find early results for it. And in the early results, the doctor was able to get something like a 94% reduction in the number of plaques within the brain. So really fucking cool tech there. That might end up leading to a far more effective treatment for Alzheimer's.
I hope it does.
Yeah, there's also a handful of other studies going on, and it's one of those things that people have been trying to figure out a cure for Alzheimer's for ages. And it has been extremely frustrating and difficult to actually get any real progress on it. But there's a number of really hopeful looking experiments going on currently.
I hope it works.
Yeah, it would be amazing.
But these people are so fucked up in the head. So these are the same people that telling somebody that cutting off their dick makes them a girl.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was one thing that I'm not sure if you guys saw recently. There was a paper that came out last month. I want to say it was the end of last month.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the largest studies on
nice rotten
gender reaffirming surgeries.
Mm-hmm.
And it had interesting results. And yes, we don't hear anything from the mute community. Nice run. So the interesting results were that with post-surgical outcomes, there was a decrease in there was an increase in mental health issues.
Okay.
Post-surgery. Which also, there was another paper that was done a while ago, which was about the post-surgical outcomes that originally was being touted all over the place because it came out saying that there was a large benefit to surgery when it came to the psychological measures. The researchers for that paper realized that they had made an error in their data analysis, and they issued a correction that completely reversed that study. And both of those studies are entirely in agreement with the Swedish study from ages ago that also showed a decrease in mental health indicators post-surgery.
I could have told you that.
Yeah.
Look,
but
go ahead.
This is now the research is coming out, which is nice.
I'm all right. People need to learn to love the skin they're in. I'm not saying don't change the shit you're unhappy with. But you were meant to be who you were meant to be. And cutting off your cock or your tits.
Here.
Is it? Yes, ma'am.
Okay, some people can't just love the skin that they're in. Some people have a mental illness. Some people cannot. They have dysphoria. They really cannot just love the skin that they're in. It's not as simple as that. Because if it was as simple as that, we wouldn't have the problem.
Fair enough.
And the thing is that what we need to do is we need to come up with better treatments. And research like this is a step in the right direction. Because if we just went whole hog into surgery is the way to go, when it turns out that surgery has decrease in mental conditions, that would be damaging to those people. I've said it many times before. I've said it to Eve, that I have an immense amount of pathos for people that are dealing with dysphoria and dysmorphia. And there's a bunch of different sorts of dysmorphia. It isn't just when it comes to feeling like you're in the wrong body due to gender.
Mm-hmm.
One of the groups that has the greatest rate of dysmorphia is bodybuilders.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, they have absolutely horrific degrees of dysmorphia because this is how you'll talk to absolutely yoked bodybuilder and they'll be talking about how they look so small. They look puny. And you're going, dude, you're like
you're
3
a fucking
feet
giant
across. What the fuck are you talking about? You look puny. It's because they don't see themselves as they actually are.
Yeah.
So, bodybuilders, if I remember the data correctly, they found out that bodybuilders had a greater degree of dysmorphia than fucking people with eating disorders. Which, that is absolutely goddamn shocking.
Well, again, I'm a fat ass, and I'm taking steps to overcome my being a fat ass. I will never be a 6 foot tall Adonis. I will never grow a beard. I want to live with those failings in my life. It is something I long for. I can never grow one. It is what it is. I blame my genetics.
You need to get follicle transplants.
But I also...
When Kimbo Slice dies, see if he can get his follicles implanted.
Yes, but I never wanted to cut something off or replace something because hell shit. I'm not religious, but I think my creator, when he made me just as I was supposed to be.
And like I said, I don't have any of that part of it. What I have is I want the best treatment that will result in the best outcomes. Yeah. And if surgical methods are not the best treatment, then I want to figure out what the best treatment is, and I want that to be the way that it goes, so that people are in a better condition.
People live their best
treatment than they were before their treatment.
I want people to live their best life.
Yeah. And ideally, if I had my complete, post-technological singularity sort of existence, I'd be perfectly fine if someone wanted to do a body swap.
Shit, that's why I'm a transhumanist.
Yeah, if it was possible to go, okay, you want to rejuve into a female body? Okay, yeah, you can rejuve into a female body. If you have an issue with that, come back. We'll rejuve you into a male body. Fuck it. That would be my ideal scenario, where it isn't just trying to modify what we currently have, but the ability to go, no, we'll give you a functioning body, entirely functioning. That would be
Hold on. Idea. Is it like Captain Ginyu, where you can do change?
The technological version of that.
Sanguine, do you remember the issue people were having with the Cyberpunk 77 with the poster of the woman with a giant cock?
Oh yeah, where for some reason they were looking at this ridiculous sci-fi future. And the part was, it was dumb on both sides to a certain extent, because the people going, well, why can you have a cock on a female body? Well, some people are into kinky shit. So they would want a cock on a female body if they had the ability to get a cock on a female body.
But see, the problem is in Cyberpunk 77. Hold on. The problem in Cyberpunk 77, the concept of transhumanism is the body is just a chassis. You can swap in and out parts. As the essence of humanity is not the body itself. It is what's inside.
Which is the part that annoyed the shit out of me, because the part that I found really stupid on one side was what I just said, where people were going, well, why can you mix and match the parts? That's kind of the cool feature about transhumanism. You can mix and match whatever the fuck you want. You want 3 left arms? Okay, that's a bit strange, but here's a body with 3 left arms. Fuck it, go. But the part that was confusing about me was, well, we need to be able to have pronouns, and you need to be able to swap your pronouns so that you can have a male body but then be referred to as a woman. If you want to be a woman, why not just be a woman? And if you want to be a woman with XYZ, yeah, you get the augments for that. Why are we doing the weird social bullshit when this is a transhumanist future where you just swap to the fucking body you want?
Shit, you don't even have to be in a quote unquote human body in a transhumanist future. If you want to go full cyborg and like have a fucking, you want to be a brain in a fucking battle tank. Go ahead.
Yep. One of my favorite sci-fi series, I've mentioned it before, is the Commonwealth Saga from Peter F. Hamilton. And he goes
You know what?
full
I'm
hog.
on that site. Peter F. Hamilton. Make sure
I just gotta say it before I lose it, because I'm gonna lose it. But when you were talking about the crotch part, for some reason I heard that as like a cock, and I got the picture of a rooster. It wasn't a penis. It was like a guy pulls down his pants and a rooster crops out. I'm like, that's amazing.
If you want a full cock's head with the fucking cock's comb, it's fucking weird, but you'll probably find someone who wants to inside them. But
sorry, it's just the mental image was like, wow, that's
you don't have to worry about getting an alarm clock anymore. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's the nature of transhumanism in anything. Like, you can, if you want to be less human, you can be less human, but you're still human. You could put your body in your brain into a cat's body and be a fucking cat.
Yep, and the Commonwealth Saga by Peter F. Hamilton, he goes into this because it is this ridiculously sci-fi future where one of the things that has been developed are what are called rejuve treatments. And during a rejuve, you can completely fucking swap your body to whatever the fuck you want. So you want to be rejuved as a small black woman? Congratulations, you're rejuved as a small black woman. You want to be rejuved as Andre the Giant but Asian? You can be rejuved as Andre the Giant but Asian.
Okay, hold on. I closed my eyes, and as you were saying this, I imagined it was like a creepy crawlers type oven thing, and it like you were like, "Do you want to be this guy?" And it smashed a little creature like that.
Well, that's essentially what it is.
Is it?
So the way that it worked is, in the setting, you would decide what you want to be rejuved as, and you would be able to see a version of that. So you'd be able to go, no, I want the tits to be bigger, the tits to be smaller. I don't want tits. I want a massive cock. You'd be able to go through whatever the fuck you wanted to change on the body. And then you'd go into your rejuve, and when you wake up, you'd be in the body that you selected.
What if it's like you don't want like this toe to be, this long and it kind of looks weird?
Yeah, you could change it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the way that the rejuve worked was any way that you wanted your body to be put together.
Not saying I have a weird toe.
You could do that with the rejuve treatment, and you could, every time that you go to rejuve, you could swap between different bodies. You could have very different bodies that are very similar. You could have all kinds of shit. Also, one of the interesting things in the setting of the Commonwealth Saga is eventually you meet a person that is known as a multiple. And in the Commonwealth Saga, a person that is a multiple is a single consciousness that inhabits several bodies. And that's something that you can do in the world because you're able to sync up all the brains so that your one personality, your one personhood is split between all these bodies. And it's you fully in each body, but every body is able to function independently because you are multiple people. And then there's people that decide to ascend post-physical and they go technological. They become a section of One of the systems is ANA, which is this massive system where people can upload themselves effectively. And they're in this digital world, think kind of like the Matrix, only not evil. And it is more, you're going through life in sandbox mode. So you can fuck with shit and you can experiment at an insane rate while within the system, because your section of the system can be sped up. So an experiment that would take hundreds of years normally, you can slap yourself into ANA and then run your experiment in ANA in a special section of ANA, and you can get it done in a couple of seconds. Because ANA is a powerful enough thing that it is able to make an entire spoofed reality within it that you can tweak the parameters of, but you can run an experiment that is going to act the same way in the real world as it did in ANA. So you're able to experiment and figure shit out in ANA and then have it pop up in the real world and be amazing, which is one of the reasons why humanity is fucking mental with its technological development in the setting. And
holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, everything
really cool.
After everything that you said, I don't think we have a chance.
Don't have a chance of what?
What? You're fucking surviving. Shit.
No, it's a book.
Yeah, it's a book series that
okay, so like the radio bits of
and ANA is effectively a conglomeration of every person that's put into ANA that influences ANA's personality. So ANA is extremely humanity fuck yeah. So ANA looks after humanity and humanity looks after ANA. It's a cool setting.
America. Well,
Yeah.
humanity. Fuck yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna save the motherfucking day, yeah.
My favorite thing about the Commonwealth saga is, you know how most sci-fi books, the hero is some sort of like insane, well, depending on when it was written. Modern sci-fi books, a lot of them have it where it's a socialist revolution in space type bullshit.
Yeah.
No. In the Commonwealth saga, there are 3 heroes that are absolutely insane capitalists, and they're amazing. One of them is my fucking favorite, Gorbinali. If you read the book, you'll recognize Gorbinali immediately, because once a dude starts walking around and his skin is fucking golden because of all the implants that he's put in himself,
I love him already.
Just talking about how he loves his family, he loves his business, and fuck anyone that fucks with humanity. That is Gorbinali. Gorbinali.
Somebody was a fan of the God Emperor.
Gorbinali is this insane dude in the book, and insane in the best way possible. So he's extremely successful when you're reading the book. The way that he's set up his life, he's lived for an extended period of time because Rejuve extends human life. And he has a massive business that he's been guiding, but Gorbinali has 3 main things that he holds dear to, and in order of importance, it is humanity as a whole, his family, his business.
Okay.
So if humanity's going to be okay, then he worries that his family's going to be okay. If his family's going to be okay, then he tries to figure out how to benefit with his business from whatever the fuck's happening. But if his family's in danger, he'll sacrifice his business for his family. And if all of humanity is in danger, then his family will work towards getting humanity out of danger. And if one of them dies, that sucks. But the species is more important that it continues, because without it, his family's fucking dead. Anyway, so
his family is included in the whole humanity thing.
Yep.
Shit.
So absolutely amazing character. And at one point, he ends up just absolutely bodying an assassin in the most embarrassing fashion, and it is hilarious.
Do tell, dear friend. Do tell.
So his daughter is about to be assassinated by this ridiculously augmented assassin that is being controlled by an alien hive mind.
Okay.
He realized, because, again, he's really paranoid about his family, that there was someone who entered his family compound when no one should have been there, and he never found out when they left, so he realizes that they're still in the compound.
Okay.
He starts trying to hunt them down. His daughter screams as the assassin jumps out at them. He comes down through the floor in a full tuxedo because he's not a peasant and it's after 5 p.m.
I mean, it really is after 5 p.m.
Yep. And he ends up just absolutely bodying the guy because his company has made some of the most ridiculous augments. And he's the leader of the company. Why would he have cheap shit?
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic series. The story is really well told. And the characters are... It is a future that feels like it's a future that could actually be the future of humanity. Whereas a lot of sci-fi, I read it and they just try to dismiss issues as, oh yeah, we handled that back in this millennia, so we don't worry about that anymore. Whereas no, the way that the Commonwealth saga is penned, all the issues that we're dealing with now, they might look a little bit different, but they're still there. You still have people that are going, yeah, communism's the way forward. The way that they dealt with it in the Commonwealth saga is they became a multi-planetary species and they went, okay, you think communism's the way to go? There's a fucking planet.
All right, Sangs. Here's a stretch. Did any of you guys hear, or any of you ladies and gents hear
I ain't hear shit. Sorry.
Hear about the structures under the pyramids of Giza?
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes, I've seen that meme.
Vaguely, I haven't really looked into it much.
Thank you, Jer. Recently, they did some like audio sonic RAF something
GPR, ground penetrating radar.
Yeah, but it was also like from satellites too, I think, but not the main pyramid, but the I think the middle one. They found structures in the pyramid, and then structures 2 kilometers down. Now, I'm not a European. Do we have a European? Somebody
European descent, but not European.
Well, I'm not peeing. I'm American.
No, nobody's peeing. I don't know. Usually I have Terry
Well, he's not
Well, he's an
European.
Aussie.
He's
Yeah,
not even an Aussie. Australia isn't real. He's a fucking AI that thinks he's Australian. Get it
Hey,
right.
he at least knows the whole differential between km and metrics and inches and.
Again, he's an AI.
For a moment there, I thought you were about to launch into he's a Kiwi and just see how big of a fight should start.
Oh well,
Fuck no!
I don't want to get in a fight with Terry.
Terry doesn't play fair.
He throws poisonous animals at you.
He also look. I enjoy the challenge against Terry with his cheat stick. I also have to now endure that with Quiz because he just got his fucking cheat stick. So I have to represent the joystick community. But
Joy's proud.
With the pyramids, yeah, structures under them.
Interesting. I'll have to look into it and see what it's about.
Well, do they know? Yeah, do they know what kinda?
Okay, so in the middle pyramid, I think it's like, I don't want to say Khufu. It's
Well, if you're talking the Great Pyramid, then it's Khufu's Great Pyramid.
What's the middle one?
I believe that's a Ramses.
Let me quickly check.
It was like Kefki.
One is Khufu. I'm pretty sure one was Ramses. I think the Amenhotep is the other one. Khufu, Ramses, and Amenhotep.
The Imhotep is the Step Pyramid.
Got that wrapped up, bro. I could have sworn it was
Well, okay.
Which is where they got the name for the mummy villain.
So what they found in the middle pyramid was 5 structures with horizontal features, and then
so I just pulled up the names of each of the pyramid. It's Unas, Menkaure, Amenhotep the Thirds. Then there's the Bent Pyramid, the Red Pyramid, Khafra's, and Khufu's.
I mean, Khafra.
I wonder where the hell was my pyramid at? I was there.
Khafra sounds familiar, but I mean,
and
you should be able to pull up.
The middle two are Khufu's pyramid and Khafra's.
Yeah. And what they found in the pyramid itself was 5 structures that was pretty much just horizontal bits with a pyramidal structure up on top of it, and then underneath, what they're saying going throughout the whole Gaza area is pillars with spiral structures going around it, and then structures underneath it, and then again 2 kilometers down. That's what they keep saying. And I don't know.
Down in Goblin Town.
That's Goblin Town.
Yeah, down in Goblin Town. Oh, don't tell me you never heard that song.
No, yeah, it's Lord of the Rings.
So they don't know what it is, but they're gonna dig it up. Is it Doom's Crypt?
They found with their reconnaissance sonar technology, they're seeing these structures, but this is also before they recently saw that the Nile River ran right across the Gaza pyramid structure, so that might have been a means of kind of a water, water power structure. So going with this, I don't know. It's just weird, and it propped up.
I just pulled up one bit. I'll have to look into it more later. But there's the Smithsonian Magazine, so they were looking into it, and one of the thoughts is that it might be mastabas, a extensive complex of mastabas. So pyramids, they're above ground, triangular, and then you have mastabas, which the tomb of King Tut was a mastaba. It's a buried, either completely buried or partially buried structure that has a flat roof to it. So that's one of the ideas behind it. Like I said, I'll need to look into it more.
Again, it's all fascinating, and as long as they don't disturb my phylactery, I mean my nothing. My phylactery isn't there. Don't look for it.
As long as it doesn't.
Don't disturb his philanthropist.
I want a baklava.
And apparently, this started off with Japanese researchers that used GPR and ERT.
Oh, dude, don't blame the Japanese.
Don't blame the Asians.
Yeah, we actually do have to give them a little credit. They are putting up with a video game where you have the option of...
Oh, no, don't. Oh, no.
All right, Jen, we have to talk about that. I'm sorry. We got...
Jen, don't. Don't. No.
What happened?
The tipping point. Please don't. Oh, no.
All right,
Okay,
so Assassin's Creed Shadows takes place in Japan, and it's and they're trying to say that the only black man in damn near 1 trillion years of Japanese history was a samurai. Given the time frame when Japan was so xenophobic, you couldn't set foot on their land if you weren't Japanese.
It's a little bit worse than that, Tier. They're implying that he had sex with Oda's wife.
No, Oda's sister.
Yeah,
Sister.
well, yeah.
Who was
the wife of 18 emperors, Kirvat? But
no. Her husband was Nagamasa Azai, and she married him. He married her off to secure the alliance. Therefore, there would be no fucking way in hell she was there during that time frame. Because if it's what I think it is just before his campaign to unify the country, and Nagamasa was married to Nagamasa Azai, like a little before a little after he became Lord Ozai, the area, his territory.
It's one of those things, Kefki, where you might want to imagine that members of this family still exist, like they are a living family. Yeah. And this French company was like, "Hey, we're gonna fan fiction a love interest for your great grandmother. Have fun with that."
Yep.
A love interest for your great grandmother with a person that her brother owned.
That would never have been. That would have never in a billion years been there, because again, they were xenophobic.
Well, no,
it's like every time this game comes,
he was there. Here, he was there. It is confirmed that there was the black man that was near Nobunaga. The thing is that he was not a samurai. He was dressed up several times as one because
he was a sideshow.
Yeah, it was functionally he was a sideshow that Oda Nobunaga owned.
Which he would have been. Like he would have been tall. He would have been outlandish. The women wouldn't have been like. It's kind of implied in the game. If you watch people play the game, it's almost like every Japanese person wants to fuck the guy, and it's really fucking
weird. It really is. But I love how they everybody is gay in this universe. Like, there's no more straight characters. So I want to know how. All right, so you know the basic premise of the Assassin's Creed thing is, right?
Man, can you imagine making your first ever Assassin's Creed game based in Japan, trying to sell it to the Japanese and going, yeah, everyone in Japan's gay?
Yeah, but you know the basic premise of the. Hold on, wait a minute. It gets better. The basic premise of the Assassin's Creed game is it is genetic memory. It is your ancestors passing down their knowledge through their bloodlines to you, the character. So if your character, if the canon ending or is that you are gay, there is no fucking way in hell that your bloodline got passed on because you can't just absorb someone else's memories. They have to be passed from line to line.
There is a way. It just involves a beard.
Yeah, it's canon that these people were, gay. It doesn't fucking make sense.
Well, no, because isn't
close your eyes and think of your progeny.
No, isn't the ninja lady bisexual?
Nope. The canon romance for her is lesbian.
Oh. So
and they can't.
She doesn't pass on nothing.
And it gets even worse because there is the canon gay character for what do we call it? Is a character is a male who had a family and a wife and was like influential. And they turned him into this fucking twink. God, they are playing like it's different if you created a whole new set of universe, not universe. You set it outside of Japan, not Japan, but like their political structure at the time, and use like random no names, people that wouldn't be never named. Like I think it was Hattori Hanzo that they made a twink. Yeah, it was Hattori Hanzo. They made him a gay twink.
Which the thing is, when it comes to the way that Assassin's Creed games used to work, you would meet historical figures, you would be in historical settings, you were not yourself a historical figure in the game.
And in the beginning, they did the research they did had two main goals. So they would research the setting, right? Mm-hmm. And then they would find people that died under mysterious circumstances, whose death was never officially canonized, and who honestly weren't historical figures, if you will, but they were influential people of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, X, Y, and Z, they never found out who killed X, Y, and Z or how he died. Okay, we'll use him as a character.
Mm-hmm.
We'll use him as a Templar. And they stopped doing that when they essentially made, I want to say it was fucking, not Mirage, I think it was Mirage, that they just stopped saying, yeah, whatever. They just went with the fuck ever. They just stopped caring at that point.
Yep. Because, it used to be that you wouldn't be a historical figure. You were just someone that would fit into the setting. So, Ezio, there wasn't a real Ezio. But having someone like Ezio at the time
made sense.
Made entire sense. When you're in the first Assassin's Creed game, that assassin that you're playing, the named assassin that you're playing,
Altair.
Yeah, there's no real Altair. Having a character like Altair at that time,
yes,
there's a bunch of people that could have been historical Altair. But there is no one person that we're going, that's Altair.
Yeah, that's historical Altair. Like he was this historical figure.
But then like I said, you would meet historical figures. So, Ezio, as you go through the game, meets Leonardo da Vinci. That's not anything ridiculous because you're running around the city getting connected with people.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you meet some historical figures, yeah, that adds to, ooh, this is cool. They tell stories that never happened with those people. So, well, yes, Da Vinci did have a design for a tank. His tank was never actually made while he was alive. So, there was no moment where a random Italian man meets Da Vinci and then takes his tank out and slaughters people.
Or his helicopter idea.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, hello.
Yeah, they essentially made Leonardo da Vinci essentially Q.
Yeah, and that works as far as the story goes because, well, it never actually got made. It becomes a, well, what if it did? And what if we just don't have a record of it because it was made for super secret assassin people? Which, that's kind of a fun premise to play with. So even though that isn't historically accurate, it's not spitting in the face of history. And it's a fun what if. That is an interesting place to take your fucking story.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where the games were at their best, when it was, you got to go around and they made the cities and locations as historically accurate as they could, to the point where I'm trying to remember what school it was, but it was deemed so
It was when
accurate.
hold on. It was when remember when Notre Dame burnt down or was burnt? They used Assassin's Creed. They used the game because it was so accurate.
Yep.
Wait, what do you mean they use the game?
Like the creators paid so much attention to the right architecture of Assassin's Creed, of Notre Dame Cathedral in Assassin's Creed, that they literally used that as a model to repair it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
That is the level of detail.
Because it was,
Well, yeah, attack the detail.
all the proportions were correct. And if I remember correctly, it came out that a school was using, I want to say it was the first Assassin's Creed game, in order to be able to help students visualize what certain things looked like when they were standing. Because according to all of the documentation and everything that they had in order to check whether these structures that are no longer standing were accurately made, yes, they were. So it came out that, yeah, there were schools that were going, okay, we're studying this period in this area. This is what it looked like. There's some liberties taken, but more or less, this is what it looked like. And there are several things that were done with that, because they really put in a fuck ton of time and a fuck ton of effort to make it look right and to make it, the historical landmarks, be present and look how they should. But then with this game, they decided, you know what? All that goodwill that we've been able to develop by spending an insane amount of time and effort in order to get all of this to work exactly right, well, we're just gonna fuck it. We're going to take all of that and just throw it out and then sodomize it behind a barn.
Yep. It is literally you You created something amazing and you murdered it.
Yep.
You killed your baby.
And it is infuriating.
Again, Assassin's Creed used to be. People wanted Assassin's Creed to go to Japan. Shit, I honestly, at one point, I'm a huge Three Kingdoms fan. Huge Three Kingdoms. And I would love to see Assassin's Creed done in the Three Kingdoms era.
Mm-hmm. Or you would have. Now you don't.
I would have. You know, because at one point, I think it would have been amazing to see, you know, oh, well, we got this war for the Imperial throne going on, and maybe the Templar Order are trying to, keep the war going. Maybe you're working for, like, Hellcat, because he's technically a fucking assassin, you know? I don't know, but something interesting.
Well,
and now
he ordered a lot of assassins rather than was an assassin.
Well, yeah, he did. But again, you would have somehow Guan Yu, one of the most famous fucking folk heroes, who got deified from being like loyal to his heterosexual life partners, would be black for some odd reason.
Yep, they would make it so that Guan Yu, turns out that he and Zheng Fei were having some hot and steamy action in between the battles.
Yeah, and it would justify
Guan Yu, who is known for being this extremely honorable character, would suddenly become an assassin rather than going for one of the people that it would make sense.
Yeah.
Or what they should do, not have it be any of the major figures and just have it be someone
from the time someone created.
Yeah.
You know, but and again, they would
Lo Pai, who doesn't actually fucking exist, but Lo Pai is now the main character. That would make sense.
And my issue with that would be, you know, again, they take the wrong readings from things. Like, all right, so in the romance, it said that like several male characters slept together, but in the context of the story, it literally just means fucking sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's fucking cold. It's one fucking bed. We're both fucking hungover and drunk. Let's just go to sleep.
It's also, when you do the math on the time of the era, this is during the medieval era. Lots of people cuddle. You know, like that's how you keep warm in a lot of places.
Yeah, it's like they trying to say Lincoln was gay because again he mentioned sleeping in the same bed with some guy. Again, for the general context, sleeping in the same bed meant okay. There's one bed. I don't want to fucking sleep on the floor, and I don't want to fucking sleep in a chair. Look, we'll just share.
You know what? You know what? This is Jen. This is where I can agree with you. I think everybody can use a cuddle.
Everyone's gay.
Like, there's nothing wrong with a good cuddle.
It's not even that. It's like anytime there's anything in context, they want to twist it towards it being gay, and it's absolutely a sign that they've never read a fucking book in their life, but they want to go on about how we need to read more.
Yeah, I got one better for you. I got one better for you. Wait a second. I love this story. So, as an insult to an enemy leader, this guy, this famous general, Zhuge sent someone a dress. He sent him a dress because he was hiding like a little bitch in his tent. He refused to come out and do battle with him. And Zhuge was trying to provoke him into fighting. So, to be a smartass, he put the dress on. And he asked the guy, "How do I look?"
It's just... Sorry, your finished thought.
Sorry. Yeah, he knew the context of what he was doing and why he was doing it. And so he said, all right, I'm going to play up. Like, how'd I look? If the left had their way, somehow him getting sent that dress and him putting it on means he's trans.
It would have been that rather than it being an insult, it was really a secret lover's gift.
Yeah, somehow these two enemies who literally fucking hate each other, who tried to burn him alive on a fucking mountain. Oh, they were in love.
Yep.
How?
They're fucking.
I think the reason they do this is okay, most of you are a little bit into history, so it's probably not going to surprise you at all that back past the maybe the 1800s, most servants actually did live with their masters. You know, if you were the king of the castle, your servants lived in your room. So they were there available to take care of you because they had to be up before you were. And I think it's because there's this idea that your servants weren't taken care of. They were. You know, their stuff was nice too. It wasn't maybe the king's,
but it was nice.
That was
I have an entirely different thought process on the whole snuggling bit. I mean, I'm lost on it.
Look, Adam, you want to snuggle? We can snuggle later, okay? I'll come over. We can hold hands.
All right.
Yay.
Like they have whole hospitals that are based off of box beds.
So two things.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, here's snuggle sounds a whole lot.
Hold on, Adam. Sanguine.
There's
sorry.
Two things. There's first off, going back to the sleeping in the same bed thing. The largest bed in England was something like 96 feet.
God damn.
By like 20 feet or something ridiculous like that. Because it was the bed at an inn. Notice how I said that. I didn't say it was a bed at an inn. I said it was...
Oh, yeah, he did like the Dutch.
The bed at the inn. It was just an entire fucking room that was a bed. And
so
people
like the Diddy White Putties.
Everyone that was staying at that inn would sleep on the fucking bed. And the bed was huge, so a shit ton of people could sleep on the bed.
It's a way of keeping heat without keeping heat. Like, you got to remember, like, heating a house requires either wood, coal, and a way for it to ventilate.
And 9 times out of 10, you can't ventilate it.
You know, so your next step is a lot of blankets and body heat.
Yep.
But see, the problem is they lack historical context. They read surface level. Oh, they slept together, so admit they're fucking. However, you gotta read the context in which it was written. That the vernacular of sleeping together, meaning sex, is a modern thing. Like, that is modern. That is, they didn't sleep together.
So going back to the idea that people think that servants weren't taken care of. Do you guys know why suits became a thing? The suit as we know them currently, in large part, it's due to butlers.
I didn't.
Do you know why butlers started wearing suits?
Yo, you can't
status symbol
like a question amongst this question.
Well, because they're a servant above servants, which means they have servants that care for them too.
Yep.
So they are literally the masters. They're the man. They're the one that they're like a seneschal.
Yeah. In fact, the original term butler didn't mean just someone that was cleaning up a house or anything that people would think of as butler currently. Butler was a status at a castle, and it meant that you were maintaining the entire castle's stores. So everyone that needed anything would go to the castle's butler. And then
things.
The butler was, like I said, the person in charge of the castle storehouse. As holdings increased, it went from the castle's storehouse to the land's storehouse. So whoever, if it was a duke's butler, then it would be, that butler would be in charge of the dukedom's storehouses. That's how that shit worked. That's where the name comes from. Butler, it was people that were butlers in the medieval sense.
But see, they lack the again, surface level readings.
Yep.
They take what is written and not the context in which it was written. It's the same reason. It's the same thing for a well-regulated militia.
Yep.
The context in which it was written, there was no formal army. There could have been a formal army because we were just fucking starting.
Also, the thing that drives me crazy about the well-regulated militia bit is there's additional writings by the Founding Fathers explaining what they meant by everything that they said.
Oh, it's called context.
Sent around in order to explain in full depth why they had come up with the amendments that they had. Because, again, they wanted everyone to vote on this, and they wanted the voting population to understand what they meant by these terms. And one of the things that was around this was, at one point, I'm trying to remember if it was Jefferson or one of the other founding fathers, was asked, what or who is the militia? And in absolutely no uncertain terms, the response was, the citizens are the militia. The populace are the militia. You're the militia. So people going, oh no, they meant a special designated group that is now represented by the army. No, they meant you. Which they said when in the supporting documentation for it, they went, we keep on being asked who we mean. We mean you.
Well, not even that. Again, if you look at the historical context in which it was written, the king was, they had to draft the citizens to fight. You know, they meant for the citizens to take up arms just in case the government needs them.
It's following up with that too. Like if you go back to the butler thing and you go back to the king, a lot of people actually want to take out the king, including people in his own country. So the person who's taking care of him, that butler, has to be somebody he really trusts, because that butler, yeah, he's wiping his ass for him. You know, he's making sure his health is good. So he has to be somebody who's trustworthy. It's a different relationship. Like, you have to know who that guy is, or there's a good chance you're going to get poisoned or stabbed. They're going to find you out and you're gone.
Shit, at some points, you had to make sure he wasn't spoinking your wife.
Mm-hmm. It's the Hollywooding of Game of Thrones. Like, yeah, no dragons exist. Sorry. You know, you don't just breed some dragons and all of a sudden you're the most powerful. It doesn't work like that. But no, a lot of kingdoms failed a lot because somebody was murdered. You know, they, like, we don't like this king, or you know.
No, I play a lot of Crusader Kings, and I off a lot of fucking people.
You also get poisoned a shit ton.
Yeah, but I
still
off a lot of cunts.
I had, when I first got Crusader Kings 3, after it released, yes. I played my first game, and after my first game, I left my review for it, which was, I started the game, I started to unify the lands around me, I found a good wife, I married her, things were going well, we had many children, then my wife died, sadly. I realized that the only person that was a good marriageable option for me was my daughter, so fuck it.
Sanguine, did I tell you I love you today? I just thought I'd tell you that.
Married my daughter. Life continued on. Life was going well. My daughter was poisoned. That sucks. Found a new wife. That wife was poisoned. That sucks. Found a new wife. That wife started trying to betray me, and then she was poisoned. I didn't poison her. Where did she get poisoned from? Oh, my other daughter poisoned her because she was jealous. Marry another woman. The daughter poisons that woman too. Fuck it, I guess I'm marrying the poisoner. Continue on, life is going well. Reach an old age of 80-something. My wife / daughter is pissed at me. Oh god, I know where this is going. I end up getting poisoned. My son takes over for me. Life is good. This is the exact bit of Crusader Kings what the fuckery I was looking for.
Sanguine. It's a good game. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was watching Monkey, I had to ask him when he was gonna inbreed some Habsburg jaw, and he said, "No, I only picked the pretty lady."
That was the thing. When I realized that my daughter was the only good option, that daughter was beautiful and genius.
Damn. Shit, Sanguine. I'm currently playing. It's called After the End, which is a mod that turns America into, Middle Europe after, not Middle Europe, but a post-apocalyptic feudal society. Mm-hmm. And I fucking love it.
What's it called?
It's called After the End.
Ooh.
It's huge. It is one of the oldest. It used to be in 2, and I loved it in 2, and it's in 3, and they have you can play as North America and the various countries and cultures and religions there. I'm currently playing as it's originally called the Great Reserve, but I use the term the Burning River because I fucking love that area, and I'm trying to expand my albino genes all around the country. I want to have a whole bloodline of pasty white people.
Nice. But yeah, I absolutely love Crusader Kings because it is just absolute insanity. I also had the classic Crusader Kings adventure of I go insane. I believe that my horse is divine. I nominate my horse to my council.
Oh God. I think the best idea they ever had was making randomizer for Animal World for the second game. Mm-hmm. Best idea ever. And I wish they would do that shit for the new one. I want them to bring back secret societies.
But yeah, those games are always hilarious because it is just everything goes completely sideways.
Cook tits up.
The second that you start playing.
Oh, I'm gonna have a nice game where I take over, Great Britain. Oh, what? The King of France is pissed at me.
Yep.
How does that work?
Huh? I'm stopping an invasion from France. Brittany joined me in an alliance. Now I'm the Holy Roman Emperor. The fuck that happened?
Oh shit! They gotta hold you literally.
What?
Yeah,
You can become. I'm the Holy Roman Emperor.
Yeah, you can become the Holy Roman Emperor. You can resurrect ancient kingdoms.
Restore ancient bloodlines. You can the bloodline of That's another thing I wish they would bring back. Bloodlines. That shit was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Legends are okay, but it was a little bit more work to establish yourself as a bloodline instead of a legend.
Yep.
But yeah.
But yeah, the absolute insanity of all the Crusader Kings games are amazing.
Shit,
and I
Samuel,
can't recommend them enough.
Samuel, did you hear in Chapter 4, they're doing Asia. We're getting all of Asia.
God damn.
All right, Chapter 4, we're getting nomadic cultures. So you can play as nomads now in chapter 4. You're getting the second part of chapter. The story pack is during coronations and religion. The third, let me look it up. Why am I doing it the dumb way? Crusader Kings. It's doing, there it is. It's doing, all right, there it is. All right, so this is what we're getting in chapter 4. We're getting Cons of the Steppe. It's adding nomads, and then the second DLC, which is coming out sometime between July and September, we're getting called Coronations, which is an event pack. So all that shit. And then All Under Heaven is coming out between October and December. It gives us China with the Mandate of Heaven, Japan with the Rise of the Shogunate, and then we're getting Southeast Asia with the God Kings and Empires. It is adding all of fucking Asia. It is unfucking believable, and I can't wait.
That is a fucking huge update.
Yep.
Yeah.
Your
So-
face is a shogunate here.
I know it is, but it's the 28th. We're getting the Cons, and then sometime between June, July, and September, we're getting the Coronation Pack, and then between August and December, we're getting all of 100. And given that track record, we're getting it's going to be November and August that we get these. So they like to do it at least a month, 2 months out between each. Yeah, because they like to they want to give you time to play this and we can play this next.
Cheer.
They want to keep
Yes.
you in the loop of, ooh, I just did this. Ooh, this is coming out.
Yeah, and so I can't wait for some of the DLCs. The mods for it. I know someone is going to do a Three Kingdoms mod where you can actually play Three Kingdoms R. And that's going to spill over to America, not America. It's going to spill over to the rest of Europe. So it's going to give us essentially what Imperial, not Imperial, the one for Rome. I forget the goddamn name of that one. The one that died too fucking soon.
Oh, you're talking about
Emperor.
You okay, Kefki?
Yeah, Imperator Rome, which should have been fucking amazing. And they should have connected it to fucking Crusader 3. But they killed it off too soon.
Yeah.
That pissed me off. I really like this.
Dear.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't call me ma'am. The fuck?
She's not that old.
Fuck was that?
No. Yeah, Kefki.
Thank you. Can I talk to you after? Can I talk to you? The fuck was that?
It's okay when you say that. I know I shouldn't say cute, but it is when you say it. Sorry.
Can I talk to you after stream?
Sure. I mean, it's about 2 o'clock. I gotta get some sleep to go to work. So
I know. Sorry.
Oh yeah, it is getting late. So shall we go around the horn for parting words?
Sure.
I only have one question, and I'll use that as my parting words. I know I'm skipping ahead. It's also in memory of George Foreman because I liked that grill when I first moved out. Okay, I had a really small apartment, and he passed away.
He did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Don't worry, we still have George Foreman's. Yeah.
Did you ever try one? Yeah, I liked the little one I had. I mean, it wasn't great, but
perfectly.
I wanted one.
Great.
I could never get one.
I have not tried any of George.
Oh shit! He died yesterday.
Oh!
Yeah, sorry. I didn't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I read that and I was sad. For somebody I didn't know past his commercials, he just seemed like a guy I'd actually enjoy going to a barbecue with.
He took a lot of blows to the head.
Well,
but
excellent
stupid,
boxer.
But sweet.
But yeah, I did use a George Foreman grill before. They're decent for what they do.
He was such a great boxer. Oh my god.
And he took a lot of blows to the skull.
Well,
But Jen, you were saying?
Yes.
Sorry, Jen.
It's just you can't really judge a person, and I certainly don't put like celebrities on any kind of pedestal. But like anytime he was in an interview or something, he just seemed like a chill guy. Like I said, like if you went to a barbecue with him, he'd be fun. Yeah.
Shit. Hold on. All right. So he had 81 fights, right? Yeah. He had 76 wins and 5 losses. 1 by knockout and 4 by decision. So that means he's only been put down once.
That's amazing.
Once,
wasn't it?
Told you he's
Yes.
an amazing boxer. Yeah.
It was by Mike, right?
I don't know. Let me look up really quickly.
I don't think so. I think it was
I don't. Let me see if I can find it. Because he lost to Evander Holyfield. He lost to Tommy Morrison. He lost to Shannon Biggs. He lost to
Evander Holyfield. I think was it.
Probably with the knockout. Yeah, he lost to Jimmy Young. He lost to Ali.
No.
Yeah, I think he never fought Tyson.
Oh, was it that they were supposed to, and then he bit off the ear?
No, that was Evander Holyfield, and Tyson bit off Evander's ear.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Was it that they were supposed to, but then Tyson bit off his ear? Because after that, there was...
It was Muhammad Ali. It was Muhammad Ali. Thank you, Brain. That knocked out him in the Rumble for the Jungle fight, 1974. Thank you, Brain. I used to watch, but I used to love boxing. Oh my god. Blame Rocky. Dun 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 dun.
Oh, okay.
Jen! Oh god, sorry.
Oh no, you're good. You're good. I just brought it up because it was, like I said, it was something a little sad, but no, I am gonna miss him for the grills. I admit he did more than just that, but no, he's still a good dude.
I used a couple of the grills, and they're good for what they do. Also, I still find it absolutely fucking hilarious that he had a very simple naming convention for his children.
George the 4th, George the 5th, George the 2nd, George the 8th.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but did you know that when I think this is right. When he got knocked out by Muhammad Ali, that was his first KO ever, his first knockout that he ever had. And he had been boxing for a while. Yeah.
Yep, according to here, when he pulled up the win-loss, he had only been knocked out once, according to that.
Well, no, that was the one knockout he had, and that fight and everything else, he's either lost by decision.
Yep, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that was his only knockout.
But
that was also, I think, the first loss he had in his career. Period. Not just knockout, but loss.
Shit! Wait a minute, really quick.
Because he's a phenomenal boxer. He was fucking amazing.
All right, let me read some of these stats really quick. Hold on, really quick. Sorry, Catherine.
Where the hell did you get stats?
I'm on his filmography.
Oh.
All right, so his last loss to Shannon Biggs was his last fight ever, and he was 50. He was damn near 50 when he lost that fight. However, he won against Luceray 48, 47, Axel Scholz, 45, Michael Moore, Tommy Morrison, 44, Pierre Cruiser, 44, Alex Stewart, 43, Jimmy K. Kelly, 42, and his loss to Evander Holyfield, 42. Again, he was dropping motherfuckers damn near.
The man was a tank. He was tough as hell. A phenomenal boxer.
Fucking
I'm glad we remember. Like, I'm glad I brought it up. Like, it's good to remember the guy.
Yeah.
I know it was just yesterday, but
let's see. Everybody remembers him for his stinking grill. It's a good grill, I'm sure. Everybody remembers him for the grill, but he needs to be remembered for the fucking amazing boxer he was.
Oh, I'm sure he will. I'm sure he actually will. Like, just the Muhammad Ali, I could see them replaying that just for that alone.
Yeah.
You know, because that's two legendaries against each other, and they're both gone now.
Great fight. Yeah.
yeah, like I said, most of the time I remember him is from his interviews, and yeah, sometimes it had to do with him selling his grills and stuff. But you know, somebody's
Somebody
sleeping
going to
already.
sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's Adam.
He just went down.
Are those your last?
Yeah.
I was going to say that wrong. His last words, his parting words.
Mr. Adams fell asleep.
He's not
Adam.
here. I'm not going to do it, Tim.
My party words are the same words we use every time. If you pass devour Sanguine, devour him, don't let Sanguine devour you.
You have no choice in the matter. If I hunger, I will eat.
Mm.
Agreed, Adam. Agreed.
That wasn't Adam. He's currently muted.
Oh.
That's Adam. Yeah.
Kefki.
I did it.
Any parting words?
Oh, my parting words are oh god, I forgot my parting words. My parting words are try to write down your parting words so that you remember them when your brain farts, because it will fart, especially when you put on the spot, it will fart.
Be excellent to each other.
Totally.
Well, that is kind of related to what my parting words were going to be, which is the sharing of food and drink works a strange magic that connects people more strongly. And with that, have a good night, all. The zoo is closed.
No.
And now I click this, but it takes a couple moments. So suck it!